So, hello everyone, good afternoon to all. Just confirm me once that my voice is audible. Chat box is here. You just need to confirm me once in the chat box that my voice is audible. Okay, sir, thank you for your response. And on YouTube also we have a live chat box. So if you have any question, any query, any concern related to our today's discussion, then you may post the same in our YouTube chat. Okay. So first of all, thank you for joining the session on this Sunday. And the topic is very much relevant, very much important. And the topic is related to the various compliances or various returns under GST. Okay. So in this particular webinar, in this particular session, we'll try to cover two specific compliances. One is from GSTR 1 perspective, another is GSTR 3B. Okay. In this session, we'll only cover these two compliances. We have part 2 webinar, okay, which will be most probably on 15th or 16th of November. The link of the same will be shared very soon. So today we'll cover the GSTR1, GSTR3B and related important aspects. I am not going to show you anything that how you need to file the GSTR1 return, what are the fields available in this GSTR1 or 3B. The purpose of this session, the things we are going to cover in this session is completely related that how we can file the GSTR 1 and 3B return in a perfect way. What are the things we need to keep in our mind while filing the GSTR 1 and 3B return so that there will be a very less chances of the litigation. That is what is the target of this session. Every Sunday, we have a free webinar around 30, 35 minutes or 40 minutes. Okay. That will be completely based on certain practical things, practical aspects. So I request everyone, if you want and if it is possible to you, just share the link of this webinar to all your professional groups, all your professional friends. I hope this webinar, this session will be helpful for all of us. Okay. So before starting our discussion, I just request one to two things from your side. Okay. The first thing that, sir, feel free, एकदम फ्री होकर के हमको बैठना है. There is no requirement of any pen, any paper, nothing is required. Everything will be stored in your brain automatically. Okay. We'll discuss the techniques and tricks. So everything will be there. There will be no requirement of anything. If you are watching it in your mobile phone, then it is also okay. If you don't want to watch the video, then it is also okay. Just hear the audio. Okay. If you have any question, any query, any concern, chat box is here on YouTube as well as on this Zoom platform. So you can put your queries in the chat box. We'll take the questions immediately. हमेशा यही होता है. We have no any Q&A session at the end of the webinar. We'll take your queries in between the sessions. So if you have any query, any concern, any issue, just put it in the chat box. We'll immediately take your queries. Okay. I suppose this session should be interactive. We'll all enjoy this session. Okay. And I will not take your much more time. We'll conclude the session in next 30 minutes. Okay. I just required your 30 minutes for our better discussion. The mode of communication of this session will be Hindi and English both, but the maximum content will be covered in English language. Okay. Yes, sir. We'll cover maximum content in English language only. There may be certain examples which will be in Hindi, but we'll try to convert the same into English for your comfort. Okay. So if you have any issue related to the language, just comment me in the chat box. We'll perform as per your requirement. So without wasting a single second, just start our discussion on this compliance filing. I am just going to share my presentation. Okay. I hope this presentation file is visible. Okay. Presentation file, this PPT is visible. Okay, done. So let's start our discussion. Sir, why there is requirement to talk on or to schedule a webinar on this topic that uh, compliances and practical discussion? Why there is requirement? Because first, I need to know why we all are here. The logic behind everyone is filing the return. Okay. Accountant is able to file the return, GST practitioner is able to file the return, chartered accountant is able to file the returns, the expert is also able to file the return. But the point is that whether we are filing the proper or perfect return considering all the facts and circumstances of the provision of law, or merely we are feeding the data in the various tables provided in the GSTR 1 and 3B. There is a very big difference between these two lines. Merely fitting the data in the table which is provided on the common portal is not a role or is not a work of a professional. Feeding the data with reference to the provision of law, with reference to each and every section of the GST law, then we are filing the perfect return. As we all are facing multiple notices, multiple litigations in this GST regime, whether it is scrutiny, whether it is related to audit, summary assessment, other assessments, we are receiving multiple notices on GST and common portal related to difference between 3B and 2A, 3B and 2B, related to the place of supply, value of supply, related to the time of supply, related to the refunds. The point is that while filing the return, we have merely fed the data on the GST and common portal. We have not provided the data as per the provision of law, with consideration of the provision of law. So the first and foremost thing which is required to file a perfect return is our return should be completely based on the provision of law. When I am going to put a value in my GSTR 3B return, I just need to ensure that this value is as per section number 15 and various rules thereof. When I am going to pay a tax on a particular transaction or activity, I just need to ensure that what rate is applicable, this transaction is supply or not, or when I am paying the tax, this is the right time or not. That is time of supply. When I am paying the taxes under IGST, CGST, SGST, I just need to ensure that I am paying the tax under correct head or not. When I am getting any notices at that time, I just need to check that the notice has been issued under correct section or not. So everything is based on the provision of law. Everything is based on our analysis that how we are going to feed the data. So in this webinar, we'll just try to learn certain important things which we need to keep in our mind while filing the 1 and 3B, because these are the most important returns. And the problem is that we are not going to give much value to these two returns, because these are the common. We are filing on monthly basis the 1 and 3B return, but the point is that we are providing all the data through these two returns only. In annual return, I am going to do the consolidation only. In my ITC forms, I am just going to show certain figures only. But in my 1 and 3B, I am going to show my tax liability, and this will be the most relevant source of revenue for the government. So from that perspective, we just need to file the 3B and 1 in a perfect way. So in initial 5 to 7 minutes, I have just tried to brief you about the importance of this GSTR 3B and 1, because unless and until I have no idea about the importance of a particular thing, I am not going to give value to that specific thing. So compliances under GST. In this particular webinar, we'll discuss on our GSTR 1 return, GSTR 3B return, and the returns which can be or which will be filed under IFF, that is Invoice Furnishing Facility. Now, while filing the GSTR 1 return, we should keep certain points in our mind. We'll discuss one by one. First point, the first important thing, through this GSTR 1 return, I am going to declare my outward supply invoice wise. Okay. There may be chances that during the particular month, I have supplied the goods or services to a registered person, to an unregistered person. There may be chances during that specific month, I have made a supply to outside India. Okay. Whenever there will be a supply to outside India, that will be called as, yes, sir. Whenever there will be a supply to outside India, that will be called as, I need your reply in the chat box. Export. Yes. Anyone else? Whenever there will be a supply outside India, that will be called as, I require certain further responses in the chat box. Yes. Whenever there will be a supply outside India, that will be called as interstate supply, not export. Okay. Because for treating a particular supply as an export, there are certain other conditions to be fulfilled. And if those conditions has not been fulfilled, in such a situation, that supply will only be treated as interstate supply, not as an export. Okay, that is what is the thing we need to keep in our mind. If someone is coming to our offices and saying that, sir, I want to take the consultancy related to a specific transaction, in that case, I am going to provide the services outside India related to astrology, but I am getting the amount in Indian currency only. Whether the same will be treated as export or not, big no. The same will be treated as merely interstate supply, and GST should be charged. No any benefit should be allowed it as an export. So for treating a particular transaction as an export, there are certain conditions. So this was just an example that these are the things we need to keep in our mind, and these things will become through the analytical skills based on the provision of law. Okay, now, so in my GSTR1 return, we need to show the B2B, the B2CS supply. There may be chances of certain amendments which we have made during the particular period. There may be chances certain exports. There may be chances of certain exempted, nil-rated, non-GST supply, the HSN code-wise summary, and the documents which has been issued during the period. Okay. Now, when we are feeding the data in our GSTR1 return, as we all know that in 99% cases, the GSTR1 has been generated by our client, and our client is going to export that GSTR1 from the accounting software, and that person is going to send that GSTR1 to us, and we are going to upload that GSTR1 in our software, taxation software, or there may be chances we are going to use the offline utility provided by the GSTN. Okay, we are going to put it in that particular utility or upload in our software and file the return. That is what is the role of a chartered accountant, of a GST professionals. The point is that in this complete process, client is sending the data, we are uploading the same and filing through the GSTN common portal. Now, point is that while we get the data from our client, and when we'll upload it on the GSTN common portal, there is a gap between this time. Okay. And at that time, this is my responsibility as a GST professional, as a GST practitioner. I need to verify the authenticity and accuracy of that return which has been generated from the GSTN common portal. That is what is the role of a chartered accountant or of a GST professional. So the first point, suppose through the analysis of nature of the industry, through the analysis of the nature of our client, whenever you will get a new client, first thing, just understand the complete nature of that industry, the exact point, what the work that our client is doing. Then the point is that suppose through the analysis of that particular nature, we found that our client is under reverse charge mechanism. That means our client as a supplier is no need to make the payment of the taxes. The recipient will make the payment of the taxes, because the activities or transactions which are undertaken by our client is provided in section number 9 subsection 3 of CGST Act and covered under the list of goods and services on which RCM is applicable. So when we are filing the GSTR1 return under B2B tab, there is a specific column reverse charge mechanism, yes or no. Okay, so this is the journal practice then, that in our 40 to 50 to 60% cases, our clients are from the forward charge mechanism. So we forgot to select yes in that RCM table and we are selecting as a no. So this will be a great mistake, or this will be an error which can be conducted by the professional. So we need to be very much careful from that aspect, that whenever we are feeding the data and if our client is related to, if our client is fall under the reverse charge mechanism while filing the GSTR1 return, we should be very much careful while selecting yes or no. Whenever there will be a GST rate, we just need to ensure that the correct GST rate is mentioned in the GSTN common portal or in the GSTR1 return. Sir, this task you need not to perform on regular basis. These tasks need not to perform on regular basis. You just need to perform this task half yearly, annually, because there may be chances that your client has introduced one new product, one new services. At that time, you need to work on that rate of the product. Okay, so just ensure that the rate has been correctly fitted in the GSTR1 or not. because our client is sending the data through the accounting software. There may be chances on that specific product our client has no idea about the specific GST rate on that specific product. So as a GST professional, we should check that the GST rate is perfect or not. Merely preparation of reconciliation, merely preparation of database on this GST platform or in this GST regime is not sufficient. Till now, what we were doing, we are just trying to prepare the reconciliation between 3B and 1, prepare the reconciliation between 3B and 2B. But this is not sufficient, sir. If your data has not been fitted in the returns as per the provision of law, then what will be the use of your reconciliation? That authority government is not going to consider or your reconciliations. And why I am saying these lines? Because in my day-to-day practices, I am facing these issues. Because I am merely handling the litigations. And this is my experience that 70 to 80% of the litigations are merely due to the negligence of the provision of law. Okay. Now, proper reporting of B2CS and B2CL. Earlier, the limit was 2,50,000 rupees. Now, this limit is 1 lakh rupees. If the value is more than 1 lakh rupees, 1 lakh or more than 1 lakh rupees, in such a scenario, there will be requirement to show it separately under B2CL. And if the value is less than 1 lakh rupees, in that case, we have to show it under B2CS. So many times there may be chances that we may report it under B2CS itself. We are not going to show it in B2CL. So this will be an error from our side. There will be no any effect on revenue of the government. But the point is that there will be an issue with the reporting. And departmental authority has power to charge journal penalty on account of the compliance failure. So we need to be very much careful from that perspective. If there will be any amendment related to the previous return, then we should ensure that the proper amendment has to be filed. Suppose earlier you have put the wrong GSTN, now you just want to change the GSTN of that particular invoice, then that should be done in a perfect way. There may be chances you want to change the taxable value, you want to change the rate. Do it in next month, but you should keep one reconciliation ready with you. And if there will be any announcement in the taxable value, just ensure that interest should be paid in GSTR 3B. Because earlier you have paid a tax on a less value. Now through the amendment, you are going to raise the value. So you need to pay the interest as well. ये बहुत छोटी छोटी सी बातें हैं जो हम लोग skip कर जाते हैं. And due to these points, system is very much efficient. System will identify red and departmental authority will issue the notice. और एक नोटिस आने के बाद क्या होता है आप और हम बहुत अच्छे से जानते हैं, वी ऑल नो वेरी वेल. So we should be very much careful. If there will be any amendment, we just need to ensure that the same effect has been given to the GSTR 3B as well. Whenever we are going to put any amendment in our GSTR 1, we just need to ensure with the reference of section number 12 and section number 13, that is time of supply, that the correct tax has been paid through the time of supply or not. Whenever we are going to make any amendment through the GSTR 1 return, we just need to ensure that the correct place of supply has been determined, and according to that place of supply, the payment of tax has been made. So these are the things we just need to ensure. If there will be any export by your client, just ensure that IEC code is there with the hand of your client, because client will share with the GSTR 1 return. Your staff may file the return, but you should train your staff that, sir, these are the things you just need to cross ensure. As soon as you will found any export in the GSTR 1 return, ask for additional documents from your client. That shipping bill is there. The complete record is there on the IEC Get portal. The export is with payment or without payment. And if the export is with payment, that ensure your GSTR 1 and 3B should be reconciled, and the shipping bill data and the FIRC related data should be reconciled with the IEC Get portal. There should be no any mismatch. Because if there will be a single mismatch, in that case, your refund will not be passed automatically. And then your client will directly come to you and say, Mr. Sachin, you have filed your return. Why? There is a failure in refund. Why we have received this specific notice on account of various penalties. So we should be very much focused from that perspective. In case of export without payment, we just need to ensure that the LUT has been applied by the client or not. Proper shipping bill and any duty drawback is claimed by the client or not. That is what is the thing also we need to ensure. And these things we just need to ask while filing the return, so that in case of litigation, we will be in a situation to respond in a very proper way. Now, one biggest question, one biggest point is there that, sir, it will take time. And we have 100 return, 200 returns, 500 returns to file on monthly basis. Then how it is possible to maintain all these things? The point is that you should say your client that, sir, timely send the returns. And it will not take much more time. It will just take a time of 5 to 7 to 10 minutes extra. What you are providing, you just need to give 5 to 7 minutes extra, and you can check very easily all those things. Whenever there will be a CDNR, credit note, debit note, just ensure that credit or debit note should be related to sales only. Many time hota kya hai, while doing the accounting, there may be chances that your client may put the CDNR or debit note related to purchase in your GSTR1 due to wrong entry. In that case, there may be a issue, because in that case you have to reduce the output tax and you are claiming the input tax credit. I know that there will be no any revenue impact or revenue neutral. This transaction is completely revenue neutral, but the point is that this will also be a failure on account of compliances. So just ensure that the credit note are completely linked to the invoices, and those invoices are completely linked to the sales only. You can verbally connect with your client and ask that these are the credit notes are there. Have you compared it with the invoices? And there is no requirement to perform all these things at your own office. You just need to guide the accountant of your client. That person may handle the same. Document summary is the most important part, and in 60 to 70% cases, we are not feeding that document summary in a proper way. Here, document summary means number of invoices which you have issued during the particular period, number of credit note, number of debit note, number of refund voucher, number of receipt voucher, number of payment voucher. We just need to ensure it very specifically. Recently, from 1st November 2024, the self-invoicing ke liye bhi they have pronounced the timeline, that is 30 days. So we should be very much careful that the same invoice series should be given in the GSTR1 return. Else they will get the data that, sir, you have not fitted the invoice series in your GSTR1 return. That means you have not generated the self invoices. हम लोग जितना इजी इस जीएसटी को समझते हैं ना, दिस इज नॉट सो इजी. This is quite complicated. And these document summary is most relevant. And whenever you will check or whenever you will file the return, just ensure the last number which you have put in your last return, last GSTR1 return, the next number should be started from this GSTN. And if there will be any invoice has been cancelled, then the same should be reported in your document summary. If you have received any advance on account of services, then related to that, the advance voucher should be generated, receipt voucher should be generated. And if there will be any refund, suppose Batu Consultancy has planned one session with me and they have given me an advance of 1 lakh rupees. I have paid the taxes on that 1 lakh rupees because on services GST will be applicable. Okay, so I have paid the same. Now after 1 month, the schedule has been cancelled, and I am going to refund that amount to Batu Consultancy. In such a scenario, I have to issue the refund voucher. That is what is the thing I just need to ensure. And the number should be there in your GSTR1 return, because normally you can say these are not so relevant things, you can say. But the point is that in case of litigation, the complete thing should be proved through these type of things. Whenever you will put the HSN code wise summary, just ensure that your HSN code, whenever you will put the HSN code wise summary, just ensure the HSN code wise summary should be reconciled with your B2B, with your B2CS, with your export. Taxable value is matching with your B2B, B2CS. There should be no any differences. The HSN code wise summary should be in a proper digit. If the turnover is below 5 crore, 4 digit is okay. If your turnover is 5 crore or more than 6 digit, HSN code is required. And that should be filed on monthly basis in your monthly GSTR1 return. So that when your consolidated GSTR9 will generate, it will be generated in a perfect way. There should be no any mismatch. That is what is the thing we need to ensure from the perspective of GSTR1. फर्स्ट B2B डेटा शुड बी फाइल्ड इन द परफेक्ट वे. B2CS B2CL में यहां पर कंफ्यूजन हो सकती है, सो वी शुड वेरी मच केयरफुल फ्रॉम दैट पर्सपेक्टिव. करेक्ट टाइम ऑफ सप्लाई हैज बीन डिटरमाइंड. In case of amendment, we should consider the place of supply, the time of supply, the value of supply. Export के case में we should check the documents. So these are the most relevant, most integral part of our GSTR1 return. Sir, if there will be a supply to outside India, it will be first considered as interstate supply. But if the consideration is received in foreign currency, then only it will be considered as export. So there is two conditions. One, the goods or services are moved from India to outside India. And the second condition, consideration should be received in Indian currency, foreign currency. And that should be received within a specific period of time. So if we are going to take the benefit of export, then these two things are important, because government logic is also there. Government is providing these benefits because government wants certain foreign currency inflow. Okay, so that is what is the logic. Whenever you learn anything, just try to learn with the logics so that it will be memorized in your brain. Now, what are the points we just need to ensure while filing the GSTR 3B return? This return is looking a very simple return, but this return is most complicated return because government is getting the revenue through this GSTR 3B return. Through GSTR 1 return, I am just going to show the sale. I am not paying a single rupee of tax through this GSTR 3B return. So GSTR 1 return. So my GSTR 3B return is most relevant return. So while filing the GSTR 3B return, as we all know that to file the GSTR 1 return, the due date is my 11th. Okay. In case of quarterly, 13th of subsequent month. In case of GSTR 3B, the due date is 20th of subsequent month. That means first I need to file the GSTR 1 return. Then after I am filing the GSTR 3B return. So I just need to ensure one thing, that my GSTR 1 and 3B return should be reconciled. And this is the most important thing. Because if there will be any difference in your GSTR 3B and GSTR 1 return, system will highlight it as red. And once the system has highlighted anything as red in such a situation, there may be chances that departmental authority may take your case for the scrutiny, for the assessment. And once there will be a notice, आगे मुझे कुछ कहने की जरूरत नहीं है. There is no any requirement to say anything. So we should be very much careful from that aspect. And suppose if there will be addition in sales, if there will be any deletion in sales through the credit note, debit note, that has not been reported in GSTR 1 return, but the client wants to report it in GSTR 3B return and says that will include it in next month GSTR 1 return, then say your client, suggest your client, sir, will include the debit and credit note in the GSTR 1 return in subsequent month and will adjust the output or input in that GSTR 3B itself. So there will be no any difference. So that is what is the important point we need to keep in our mind. Proper reporting of export with payment or without payment should be made. In case of with payment, you need to put the figure of IGST in your GSTR 3B. In case of export without payment, then there will be no any IGST will be there. You just need to show the value. RCM related liability should be shown very carefully. That means inward supply on which reverse charge mechanism is applicable. Through the analysis of the nature of industry, you found that our client has taken certain legal fees, legal consultancy. Then the payment of legal fees, RCM will be applicable. Our client has taken certain services of GTA, then RCM will be applicable. In case of director, RCM will be applicable. In case of DSA related services, business correspondent related services, then RCM will be applicable. So we just need to ensure that the RCM has been paid on a correct figure. and related RCM has been paid in the specific month itself. There is also requirement if there will be any interstate supply to unregistered person to composition dealer, then we should report it separately in the GSTR 3B return. In many times we are not supposed to show the same, so we should not do this thing. We should show the unregistered sales. Now there is a specific point. Sir, suppose in a particular month I have made a sales to Gujarat. I am from Rajasthan and I have made a supply to Gujarat, unregistered interstate 1 lakh rupees. And there is a sales return of 1,50,000 rupees. In that case, when I am going to put the interstate supply unregistered person, then there will be a negative figure, that is 50,000. So now GST and common portal is accepting the negative figure. So I need to show that negative figure in my GSTR 3B. That is what is the point I need to keep in our mind. Many times we are going to skip that particular negative figure. This is not a correct treatment. Whenever we are claiming the input tax credit, now there is one concept which is very common. That is, claim the input tax credit as per GSTR 2B. Or our client is also saying, sir, whatever will be the input tax credit which is available in GSTR 2B, just claim it. Is it right way to claim the input tax credit? No, not at all. Whenever there will be input tax credit which is reflected in GSTR 2B, we just need to ensure that this input tax credit is eligible input tax credit or not. This input tax credit is not blocked under section 17 subsection 5. The reversal as per rule number 4243 has already been done. The reversal as per rule number 3739 has already been done. So merely taking the input tax credit as per 2B is too risky. As per the compliance perspective, as per the data which is available in 2B, first we need to check, and for that purpose we need to suggest our client that, sir, 2B has been generated on 14th. Just check once your 2B, and if there will be any ineligible ITC, if there will be any blocked credit, pass the entry in your accounting software, generate the 3B and share with us, so that it will be a proof for you. It will be a working paper for you while filing the returns, and it will be assurance that we are filing the return as per the provision of law. We should ensure that the calculation of reversal is perfect or not. There should be no any issue with the reversal calculation of rule number 4243. Okay. In this webinar, I am just going to brief you that these are the things which are very much relevant and we should be very much careful from compliance perspective. Okay. I am not going to give you the detailed explanation of each and everything, but I just try to give you a brief idea that these are the things we should check. Related to reversal 4243, if you have any concern or if you want to check the calculations, then the video is available on our YouTube channel. You can go and check. Okay. Reversal, we should check very carefully. There should be no any issue with the reversal. As per the provision of law, reversal should be done. If you go through with the GSTR 3B return, there will be two specific points: exempted, nil rated, non-GST supply. Just give me a single second. Yes. Two options will be there: exempted, nil rated, non-GST. So if your client is dealing in a particular product which is exempted, nil rated, non-GST, and there will be any inward supply of that specific product, then we need to show it separately. Okay. And as we all know, when we are preparing the profit and loss account, in that profit and loss account, there may be certain expenditures. As per GST provisions, we need to show that that expenditure, that is inward supply, under exempted, nil rated, non-GST supply as well. Okay. If there will be any diesel related expenditure, we should show it in non-GST related supply. Okay. And we should report it on monthly GSTR 3B return. But one point is that one practical problem is that, sir, our client is not booking the expenditure on monthly basis. Hence, we are not able to put the data in this exempted, nil rated, non-GST supply. So do one thing. Plan one specific GSTR 3B, whether it is March 2024, or if you are going to take the data from your client in August 2024 related to 23-24. In such a scenario, in that particular month, show the consolidated figure of nil rated, exempted, non-GST supply from the profit and loss account, and keep in your record that, sir, I have shown that consolidated figure of exempted, nil rated, non-GST supply in this specific month, so that the same will be cross verified from your profit and loss account. I know monthly basis pay, this is quite difficult to demand the profit and loss account of our client. And this is also quite difficult that, sir, to calculate the exempted, nil rated, non-GST supply from the profit and loss account which has been provided by our client. But we can do it in once. Okay. While finalizing the income tax audit, or suppose the income tax audit has been done by someone else, then we just need to demand the audit report, and we can easily segregate and we can put the data in the respective GSTR 3B. Whenever we'll file the return, just ensure that the input tax credit should be claimed on the basis of time of supply, without considering that not to claim a single input tax credit. For claiming the input tax credit, just ensure that the proper invoice is there. The same is reflected in 2B. The goods has been received. Multiple times, the point is that when you will check the purchase register, as on 30th April, the client who is from Rajasthan bought certain goods from Maharashtra on 30th April, and the person has claimed the input tax credit in the April month itself. Now the point is that whether it is possible to receive the goods from Maharashtra to Jodhpur, Rajasthan in single one day? No. That means the taxpayer has merely claimed the input tax credit based on the reflection in GSTR 2B. The same was not received by the client. The same was received in the May month, on 4th of May, on 5th of May. So the taxpayer was eligible to claim the input tax credit in May month, but the same has been claimed in the April month. The effect will be very high. Suppose after 2 years, departmental authority will come with the audit, and departmental authority has found that, Mr. Sachin, you have claimed a wrong input tax credit in April month. For that input tax credit, you were eligible in the May month, but you have claimed in April month. So I am saying to the departmental authority that, sir, yes, I have claimed a wrong input tax credit because the same was available in my 2B. Invoice was there. Just point is that I have not received the goods. So I am just going to reverse this input tax credit. Okay. Now, my argument with the departmental authority, as sir, I have reversed the input tax credit, but in May month, I were eligible to claim the same because I have received the goods. So can I claim the same? Departmental authority will say no, because Mr. Sachin, the timeline to claim the input tax credit as per section number 16 subsection 4 has already been lapsed. So now you are not eligible to claim that input tax credit. I need to reverse at that time, and I will not be eligible to claim the input tax credit. Due to a very silly mistake, there will be a very huge penalty which will be taken on me. And at that time, our client will say, Mr. Sachin, you were filing the returns, you were handling our all the compliances, then now why there is this huge penalty? That is what is the point we need to keep in our mind from the compliance perspective while filing the GSTR 3B return. So these are the two things we need to keep in our mind while filing the GSTR 1 return, while filing the GSTR 3B return. So in this particular session, we have covered a very specific point related to GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B return. Sir, any query, please comment in the chat box. And then after, I just want to share with you one information with your permission. We have covered the content in 35 minutes. Okay. 37 minutes. Sorry. Yes, sir. Have you any query? Then please put in the chat box, and no query is there, then I just want to share with you one specific information, and this information is just from our side. Okay, this is no any advertisement, this is just information from our side that we have launched a GST comprehensive course, and in this particular course we'll cover the complete GST law in 45 days. Okay, we'll cover the complete GST law in 45 days, and each and every section will be covered with the memory techniques. That means now onwards there will be no requirement to memorize a single section. Everything will be stored in your brain, and this is our guaranteed course. With that, we'll cover around 250 important judgments to develop the analytical skills, and also will cover around 500 practical questions and practical issues which we are facing in our day-to-day practices. So this is a complete course we have designed just for the professionals, because we are facing multiple issues. So we want the development of conceptual skills, analytical skills, practical skills, and technical skills. Based on these four pillars, we have designed this course. And with this course, we are providing exclusive study material, recording access for next 1 year, and the complete support. And the point is that the most important thing, this course is a guaranteed course. If you will not satisfied with the content, will refund you the whole amount. Now, the point is that, sir, what is the price of this course? So this course is for 10,000 rupees. With this course, will provide you study material worth rupees 4,000. Okay. So at your postal address. Now, there may be certain doubt in certain participants' mind that, sir, agar humko samajh nahi aaya to what will happen? So from that perspective, we have one specific plan. You can pay the amount of this course after 20 days. Just join this course for first 20 days. For that, for joining of that first 20 days, you need to pay 50% of the course price, so that we can send the study material, and that will be just cost to the company. Okay, so after paying the 50%, will immediately dispatch the study material. This course will be start from 18th of November. So it will take that your study material will be reached at your postal address around 15th of November. So if anyone wants to register for this course, then I am sharing the WhatsApp number. You just need to WhatsApp on this number. We'll share you the link. Okay, my team will share with you the link. I just request everyone, try to join this course once. Every doubt related to GST will be clear in your mind. Everything will be, and this course will be so interactive. Every day live batch 6 to 7 p.m. and sharp 7:30 you will get the recordings on our interactive platform. So if you have any query, you may connect over Zoom, over call with me directly. Okay. So the purpose of this course to provide you a expert knowledge in the field of this GST, and just try to once join this course, because this is a guaranteed course. If you will not satisfy, I am saying demand for the refund. But for your GST knowledge, try to join this course, and you just need to pay the amount. 50% will send you the study material. Join this course for first 20 days, and if you will not satisfied after 20 days, get back your amount, and there will be no any requirement to pay a further fees. Okay, so just try to join with us, try to learn this experience, because we have already completed one batch of this course, the satisfaction of this batch. Okay, and all the participants were satisfied. So now we are launching the batch number 2, and we are only taking 40 participants in this particular course. So I'm requesting everyone, if you want to interested to register, then please just WhatsApp on this number. We'll share you the complete details. Yes, RCM input can be claimed completely. There will be no any requirement of reversal on account of RCM. Reversal will be required for your normal input tax credits. For regarding your RCM, you can claim, because you are paying the tax and you are claiming the input tax credit. Okay, so this is a mechanism of self invoicing, so you will be eligible to claim the input tax credit. Okay, there will be no any issue with that. Any other query? Any other query related to GST comprehensive course? Any other query related to our today's discussion? Then just please put in the chat box, and I just request your valuable feedback in the chat box. Whatever will be your feedback, I am expecting from each and everyone the feedback of our today's webinar. In case of reverse charge mechanism, I am claiming the input tax credit merely on the basis of my self invoicing. I am paying the taxes and I am claiming the input tax credit. I need to show it in the separate column in the GSTR 3B return. Okay. So thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for listening with us. Every Sunday we have webinars, and from 14th of November till 18th of November, we have total 5 webinar on each and every day, and all these webinars are free. So you can join the free webinar, 5 free webinars as well. Just WhatsApp on this number. We'll share you the link. Yes, everything will be covered. Everything will be covered in the GST comprehensive course. Everything will be covered. And also we have launched one memory technique session. In this particular session, we'll cover the complete GST law, each and every section with the memory techniques. Okay, for sections only. This course will be for the sections only. So thank you everyone for joining, for listening with us. We'll meet you soon in any other webinar, in any other seminar. And if you have any query, any concern related to GST, feel free to connect with us. WhatsApp number I have shared. We have one YouTube channel. You can go with that YouTube channel, consult with Batuk. You will find around 250 videos on that particular channel. And all these videos are very much relevant for your GST knowledge. Once again, thanks for joining. We'll meet. Bye-bye.